We want to keep our power lines short. You know, we want to keep everything short, so I think that makes the most sense. Connect it to power, and then this will start producing fuel, and it's right there, ready to rock. And I think that's, yeah, definitely the best call. We have a power surplus still lacking on water, but like, see, this is probably not a good idea, right? If you have a water deficit, adding a building that consumes water probably isn't your best call. And these are getting emptier. But, here's the thing. I can shut this one down. If I shut this one down, then we're still down water shortage? But with this producing fuel close by and being in command range, this producing fuel, it should just bring it right to where it needs to go. This guy's gonna bring it to the rocket first. How about we prioritize that building? So when this produces a fuel, we should see that happen. Hopefully, bring it here. Great, good. So now they'll start working. I'm gonna pump everybody in here. I want this building really ramping up production right now. It's not a whole lot happening here, unfortunately, but I want the polymers. I want to stock up on those. And I think it's probably, since we're making polymers now, it's probably a good idea to get another battery just so we have reserve power. Also, someone did the math. It's cheaper to have a heater at max size than to have two heaters, than have more than two heaters in a zone. Okay, so is that purely, when you say cheaper, are you referring purely to the maintenance costs being offset? Because it's a huge power draw to do that. I mean, it's like 30 power to power one of those, but it makes sense, you know, and I'm willing to invest in the power to get rid of these cold waves. I'm willing to do that. I just don't know what you mean by cheaper. I'm assuming you mean in resources, which I would totally agree because of the maintenance, but just the fact that, like,
cable fault reported, pipe leak reported.
Come on. Okay, you are gonna. I was curious about that. I hadn't yet looked at it. I was curious as to whether or not he was gonna actually move to the next resource, and he does. He does. So good. Glad that he's smart enough to do that. How are we on concrete right now? We are incredibly poor on concrete, actually. I'd love to turn this on, but problem with turning this on is that we become in a power set. We go back into a power deficit by doing so. Only when that starts working. As soon as that starts working, we'll be barely above our power. Yeah. The water shortage is a really, really bad deal right now. Okay, you know what? We can't afford this. Sorry, we're shutting you off. And we're gonna shut you off too. We have okay on polymers, but I'm gonna have to shut you off. I cannot have, there we go. I cannot have the water deficit. We're gonna run out of water and that's just terrible. Which means everybody goes and works in here now. Yay, go work here. Only 13. Without producing any fuel, this rocket never leaves though. We have to produce fuel.
Now that the most critical phase of the mission is behind us, we would argue it's a good time to start focusing on our mission evaluation goals.
Stop yelling at me, Swan. Or looking at me. It's looking at me, isn't it? Billy Madison? I'm pretty sure it's stop looking at me, Swan. Now, why didn't you go through the tunnel, you dumbass? Why didn't you go through the tunnel? Is the tunnel not done? I don't get it. Why didn't you go through the tunnel? Why the hell would you go all the way around? Does that make sense to anyone else? That doesn't make any sense. Only thing I can think of...
We gather here today to bid a final farewell to one of our finest.
Old age. Died of old age. Why the hell didn't he go through the tunnel? Only thing I can think of is that this is somehow impassable terrain. Which I don't buy that. No, you're right in front of the tunnel. Why didn't you go through the tunnel? Okay, now you go through the tunnel. What a weirdo. What a really strange thing that is. Tunnel didn't have electric. It doesn't need it. It doesn't consume anything. That's how powerful tunnels are. They're so powerful, they require no maintenance and absolutely no connection whatsoever. They don't draw any power or water or anything. They are just completely OP, right? They just exist and work perpetually, indefinitely, and they're immune to everything. It's tunnel life, man.
Research complete.
Adapted probes, good. There's my subsurface heater. That's what I wanted. Let's put that at the front, please. Thank you very much. Okay. Catronics. Bring more concrete to the dome. It needs 80, so yeah. You're gonna have to do it. Having fuel produced here, way better than having fuel produced down there. Yep, way better. But we're having fuel produced in both locations right now, right? Not yet. We have a little bit of a surplus with water. I think before we get a cold wave happen, I'm going to turn this back on. Yeah, and we're going to get that going. So we don't have a surplus in water anymore, but we're able to ramp up fuel production. Okay, Catronics, you better go through that tunnel. I better see you going through that tunnel. Now, this is why... What the frick is wrong with you, Catronics? Like, go through the tunnel. What the frick are you doing? Right there. Go right there. Why would you go around the tunnel? It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Why would you not just go in the tunnel? That's the whole point of the tunnel. You come back through the tunnel, but you won't go there in the tunnel? That doesn't make any sense. The rovers go over land unless the tunnel is their only way. What? I've never heard that, and I've never seen that, and I have exemplary proof of the contrary in multiple playthroughs. I do not believe that in the slightest. I'm sorry, I just don't believe that. I don't buy it. Watch this. Catronics is now currently located here, okay? Now, unless the tunnel is his only way. So, here's this. I say go here. And Kit uses the tunnel to get back. It's not his only way. He drove there on land, and now he uses the tunnel to get back. But he didn't use the tunnel to go there. Like, the tunnel is like almost instantaneous travel. He should be using that instead. It's lame. It's lame. His insolence will not be tolerated much longer. I believe if you click on the tunnel, the rover will go through it. Okay, now that. Let's try that. Let's get that tried. It's all about experimentation. I love new games because of experimentation. Here he goes. Boom. And ta-da! Way faster. Thank you very much for that, Woodchuck. Appreciate that. Boom.
Sector scanned.
Let's not waste battery going all the way over there. They travel through the tunnels so fast compared to what they would normally do. Like, click that. Instead of driving all the way back, he's already here. So fast. I love it. Okay, go ahead, charge.
Meteor shower incoming.
You know what? Your meteor shower can just kiss my ass. All right, I need to bring more people. I think the next rocket needs to be people, and we need to get these extractors running. We need the metals, and I need biologists. I need scientists. I need all that stuff. Just going through the tunnel take battery. No, batteries deplete over time. It's a fixed time. So if it takes him 40 seconds to travel over land to destination, he will drain more battery than if he goes through the tunnel, in addition to taking, in this case anyway, almost 8 times more time to get there. So yeah, that needs to be fixed, because that's not right. I think I want to get rid of this, actually. I kind of don't want to keep coming down here for fuel. I kind of want to get rid of all these depots, but the fuel one needs to go, and the metal one can stay. Really, one universal depot should be plenty, I think. You can get rid of all these and just do the one universal. If you manually tell it, he will use the tunnel, obviously. But he needs to do it automatically. They need to be smart enough to take the fastest possible route, as opposed to, like, we are programmed to go over land. Over land should never be part of the programming. Rover is a land vehicle. Go over land should be a given. But the programming should be rewritten, or at least amended in some way, to say vehicle should take fastest route to destination. Fastest, safest route to destination. And the tunnel is, by every definition, the safest route as well. Because while you're underground, you are immune to all status effects from the surface. Including a cold wave, which doesn't make sense since that is a... What are you doing, drones? Do not take my concrete. I'm trying to load it into the truck. That needs to stop too. I understand why that happens though. I understand why that does what it does, but it's just that it can't be fixed. It's not really a problem. It just annoys me that it happens. The drones will take the resources out that you're trying to load into the truck, but it happens because I moved. If you manually move, then it will do that. All right, now the truck will go. And I understand this part, right? Because it can't get here over land. It has to take the tunnel. So it automatically takes the tunnel. But over here, it can get there via land. So it moves via land. But if you just click the tunnel, he'll get there way faster with way less battery power used. Off he goes. And I can barely get my camera there fast enough for him to be there. It's super fast. It's way powerful. If they want to nerf tunnels, all they have to do is two things. Require a maintenance cost on the tunnel and slow the travel speed to where it's more proportionate to what it would take if he was traveling above ground. That's all it has to do. But the tunnel doesn't need to have that proportionate travel time, really, because above ground, it should be slower because you're dealing with the rocks and you're dealing with sand and all these other things. But look, it can't be that programming because if he's on land already and I don't click the tunnel, if I just manually click here, I didn't click the tunnel, but he's still gonna use the tunnel. So I don't know, like, I don't know. It's weird how he would take the land from this side, but not from the other way. That's like an automatic thing. I just feel like that's a little bit strange. We have 10 polymers. We have 10 polymers, yep. 10 polymers, 16 concrete, plus 50 is, yeah, we're good. Yep, that is enough concrete, good. And the metals, we only have 14. We're gonna need 20 to build the dome. So let's come over here. One little truck. Oh boy. You know what? Let's gather the metals. Kit, are you recharging your battery? Can you do that for me, please, while I'm waiting and trying to figure out where your metals are? Where are you gonna get the metals? You're gonna get the metals from here. In fact, the drones can get the metals themselves from here, so never mind. The drones will just do it. So you're done, Kit. Actually, you're gonna need to bring more concrete because we're gonna need to put buildings in there too. And we're gonna need the extra polymers because the apartments take polymers. I need this concrete extractor working, actually. I need this to be on. We need machine parts for that. So let's grab you. Is this all I have for machine parts? I have 19 of them. Where are they all at? Bring this down here so they fix this. I need more concrete. Oh, this is malfunction too. So now we have a water deficit, don't we? Yes, we do. How long has that been going on? Well, that's what we got tanks for. Kit, sorry, you're gonna have to take more machine parts than that. Let's actually have you get the fuel. Take this fuel.
Sector scanned.
And
select a sector to scan.
There, please. Let's just grab these. We'll eventually come up here anyway. This is the next place I'm going, is down here. So we'll have another colony here. And then we'll eventually work our way up and get all these. We're not going to be able to do the 30 anomalies by day 100. It's not happening. It's pretty impossible to do that on this map. Unless you stay unmanned. If you don't have a dome, if you don't have to deal with the life support resources, then you can probably do it. But as soon as you go for a dome and you have to maintain water and oxygen, but the thing is, you can't avoid going with a dome because eventually you're gonna run out of resources. You're gonna have to ship more down, and you're not gonna have any money. You need to export to get the money. So eventually, like, sooner or later, you have to go dome. You have to get people working in one of
Pipe leak
these.
reported.
If you had read the tooltip, you would know that control right-clicking when setting a supply rule will tell the truck to pick up 5 at a time. If I had read the tooltip, I wouldn't be Charlie. If I had read the tooltip, I wouldn't be myself. Would you like me if I was anything other than myself? Let me see what you're talking about. Select target. Uh-huh. Control to load 5. Click to load all. Okay. Why would I want him to load 5? Just to go back and forth with 5 at a time? Why would we want to do that? I guess we'd want to do that if... Okay, I think I understand the point of that now. When we were setting up these transport routes before, if we observed in the last stream, and it's just the way it works, if the truck has no more resources at its origin point, after it delivers the resources that it just came from delivering. So in other words, if he grabs these resources, takes it to its destination, if by the time he delivers it to his destination, there is still no resource in this, then at that point, the transport route ends and he just sits idle. So to prevent that from ending and to kind of keep it regulated so that he doesn't take too much, but he's still automated, what you would do is you tell him to take a certain smaller amount at a time. Is that the idea? So that they can replenish the supply faster? I guess I still don't know why that is superior to just manually doing it. I only have 1 resource truck. If I had 3 or 4 trucks, then that might make sense, but I don't know if that's really worth it or not. If I can set up a trade route to where the truck actually hauls multiples, now maybe that's the purpose of it. I haven't tried that. Let's try that. If I take the truck and I say, hey, why don't you go ahead and load for me? I'm gonna select the resource to be collected to their origin point and deliver to the destination. The route will be active. Okay, so if I select this, and then I say, I want concrete and metal. Aha! Holy shit, that is cool. Okay.
Cable fault reported.
Okay. I'm gonna have to re-record my tip video because that is new. Cool stuff. We're learning. I love it. Now I heard somebody in the comments, somebody in the chat said you should disable senior citizens in your dome. It's like, okay, well, if I did that, then they would just have nowhere to live and they would just die. Like, okay, I understand logistically how that might help my colony, but you monster. That's all I gotta say. So we're bringing a whole bunch of machine parts, 40 more machine parts, because it takes a lot to build these tunnels. These tunnels are very expensive, but as long as we can maintain that supply, we're good. I'm trying to pace ourselves. Ooh, hang on. The building is depleted. Let's go ahead and salvage that. If we're salvaging that, it means we no longer need this cable, which means less maintenance. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get this taken care of. It's only 3,800 water. We need to get expanded up here. This needs to happen. So we can get this water supply, and we can get these 2 extractors. And then we're also going to need more power, but hopefully, I think in here, no. Maybe we do a second dome. Do we do a second dome here? We could get a second dome here and then maybe start machine parts construction so that all we have to do is send electronics. Because you want to eventually get down to the point where you don't have to send anything, but if you have to send only 1 resource, if you can somehow make it managed to where you can only send 1 resource, electronics is the better one to do. If nothing else, the second dome, and this is kind of the mistake we made last time, right? But if nothing else, the second dome would allow me to get apartments up, to move these people over, and then get apartments in here, and then move them back and forth. We might need to do that. Otherwise, this land is wasted, and a dome can fit here. Like, easily. We could put this really close to the tunnel, too. If we put this really close to the tunnel, I just need it close enough to where the dome can share the food resources. So as long as it's, like, right here, it can share the food resources. But this dome is expensive. I think we need this one next. I think this is the 3rd dome we do, because we need the metal over there. this dome is going to be geologists and scientists. We're going to have some medics in here, but basically it's going to be 2 science labs if I can afford it. I don't know if I can. And then just a bunch of people living here
complete.
for... Now we have subsurface heating. And Stirling generator would be nice as well. Don't know if I can't afford to make that myself, though. Drones moving faster. I think the harvester truck. We're going to need oxygen, so that's got to happen too. Because we're going to start supplying oxygen all the way to this dome too. And so, like, I might need 2 Moxies, but if I can get away with this one having its production... Yeah, because right now the total demand is 0.7. We're producing 2. So if I can raise this to 3, then it will easily support the people in this dome. And we can have both of them getting supplied by 1. We've got 2 extra tanks here. And I don't know if we actually need to add a 3rd extra tank over here or not. Because of how we're transporting it, there's no real pipe that's going to bust here. Like, if it does, it's a fluke occurrence. Like, it's rare. It'll happen probably, but it'll be rare. So we're primarily going to be transporting it all with the tunnel, which is why, again, tunnel life, it's OP. But if we can do that, and then the connections for the piping is right here. So this pipe will just go bam, bam.
Cold wave approaching.
That's what I needed to worry about. So subsurface heating. Let's talk about that. 17 hours left. Currently have a 7.1 power surplus. How does that equate to this? It's going to draw 1.6 power, but I can increase the range, which is good. It takes 5 machine parts. Luckily, though, it is maintained with metals. And there's a rocket coming in right now that's going to have all the machine parts we need. So, do I put this here in the middle of the base and then expand the power out? That's what I should do, right? Or I could put it here. As long as it's in range of those 2 water tanks and these, it should be good. And if I put it back here, then I get the benefits of having a really short tank, a really short, yeah, I get the benefits of having a really short pipe. But if I put it here, then I'm more likely to cover the other ones. I think I'm gonna put it right here in the middle. And then run a pipe here like this. So we'll build this. That's going to consume the remainder of our machine parts until the rocket lands. And then...
Cable fault reported.
The frick? Like... RNG just frickin' hates me, man. All the machine parts. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. 5.5 machine parts gonna be used now. Now, just the ones in the back were hit. So 3.5 more machine parts to use now. For no reason other than a random dust devil wanted to spawn on top of it, hit all of them, and then go away. Like, what the hell, man? It's terrible. 10 hours. Okay, now, subsurface heater has a service range. Currently, it's consuming 4.4 power, which means we have a deficit. The problem with this is that if I increase this range to cover everything that it needs to cover, it can't reach. So it needs to be closer. So we're gonna waste the resources. Yeah, we're gonna waste the resources because it's not close enough. I think for now I'm just gonna cover my power. I think for now I'm just gonna cover this. Covering the water is a good idea too, though. Is there anywhere I can put that where it's gonna cover both? I think I have to have 2 here, guys. I know you said it's cheaper, but I don't think so. I think 4.4 power on 2 of them is 8 power, and having this thing extended all the way out is like 20 power. I know the maintenance cost, the metals, it ends up costing more, but I think you have to do it this way. So I'm gonna take... The only problem is the piping. I'm going to take it and put this right here. And then I want another one. Yeah, all those machine parts. At least they arrived, like, on time. Like, they arrived right away. It takes 5 machine parts to build it. I only recovered 2.5, so I basically wasted a bunch. But this one doesn't need expanded. This one's just going to sit here and cover these 2 tanks. Unless I can fit it back here. I can cover the batteries, too. You know, having these buildings frozen kind of sucks, too. God damn it. Really? Cold waves, man. Sucks so bad. Turbine can frozen. So they can't be frozen, but they'll deteriorate much faster in the cold. And everything else, like these other things here too, like these things will take more power in the cold. So it's more expensive to maintain these. So like if I put one of these here, it needs to happen. I want to preserve my water. I want to save my water. I don't want it to freeze. And if I put this here, I can almost cover 2 of these actually. If I put this here and then increase the range a little bit, I could get 2 of these, and that's probably worth it. The additional power draw on the heater will offset the power draw on that though. The increase that it gets, right? I think so. I can't tell. Let's do it here anyway. Drop it right here. Surface heater is being built. Done. So, service range. Increase it to cover this. Now it's 11 power to do this. 11 power. But I keep the drone hub safe because this is electronics maintenance. And I keep these from being frozen. But this is also still not connected to frickin' dumbass. Dumbass. What am I doing? Don't do that. Don't do that. Drop your resources off actually over here. Unload the resource over here instead. Stop. This needs to be connected to the piping. So, build the pipe. Build the pipe. Build the pipe. Come on, if this thing freezes. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, with the heater on, subsurface heater, it will keep these things in good temperatures. So they won't have increased deterioration. It's costing 11 power to do that, which means we're now at a 28 deficit. I don't know if what's worth it. I don't know if it's actually worth it building these heaters. Because now I just need more turbines anyway, you know? Because the heaters take a ridiculous amount of power anyway. Is it worth building the heaters at all? I don't know if it is. Especially this one now too. We're gonna have more power draw on this one as well. And if I want to stop this from deteriorating fast or this from freezing, this is already frozen. It's already frozen. I guess it'll probably thaw though, won't it? I don't have the power capacity to deal with this. I don't think this is worth it. I'm gonna leave it here, but I'm not gonna connect it to power right now. I'm not sure that's worth it, guys. Those heaters are really expensive. I think I'd rather just take the cold. Just take it like a man. I don't know. I can't tell if it's worth it or not. Still waiting for some gameplay of Frostpunk? Oh, I'll have it, Seldrick. I'll have it. I'm on the list to get that game too. Frostpunk is definitely on my radar. It's too expensive. This is the problem. We always run into this problem. We run into this problem where your resources become so hard to maintain that you can't, like, feasibly go and do what you need to do. Like, what I need to do, right now, what I need to do is lift this rocket off. I like that we've saved this from deterioration. I especially like that we've saved this from deterioration. But this building is gonna freeze now too. As soon as it's no longer working, this building will freeze now too. Unless I can somehow afford the power draw. Right now we have 12.8. If I can come down here, let's open this up. We have polymers. We have some polymers to maintain this. Let's open this up. That's going to give us 2 more power to the power grid. Now we're only down by 2.8. And, oh, these batteries are so depleted now. We're gonna start losing power. Damn it. Can't do it. I have to have another one. There's no choice. I have to have another one. You have the concrete? Yeah, we do. I can't go down in power, guys. Our batteries are gonna die, and then once that happens, everybody loses power in a cold wave. Can't do it. It's just, yeah, this isn't functioning because of the heat, because of the cold. But see, like, all it does is deteriorate this faster. These things are super expensive. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think they're worth it. The heaters, they're good in theory, but hang on, we're only down 2.1 power here. And these batteries have power left in them. Cold wave's done in 20 hours. Is this still thawing? It's still thawing. Okay, hang on. Now, this might be okay.
Pipe leak reported. We have a water shortage.
Frick. Everyone stop everything. The pipe leak is where? Here. The pipe leak now removes the water supply from the heater, which now starts to freeze all these stupid things. Because the pipe is too long. This is why I wanted to avoid long pipes. How's that sound? It's kind of a redundant pipe anyway, wasn't it? The pipe was just like, I am an extra pipe. Okay, then you're gone. Thanks. Put more industry within heater radius. That'll make it more profitable or less expensive. Sounds more positive. Well, yeah, like if I put a heater over here, right, then it could cover this whole area on these extractors, which would be great. Actually, then we can expand the power this direction, and then it would be covering it, but I chose to put my power away from my extractors. Maybe that's the wrong decision. Looking back on it, if we have a third colony, maybe having the power supply here is a better option, because then a heater could cover the whole area. Then it becomes worth it, yeah. But this one is actually covered right now. 2.1 power deficit's not that bad. We can deal with that for now. But this can then work then. Oh, they still need the machine parts to repair it. Frick. They still had to use the machine parts. It's terrible. Only down to 6 electronics. Only 6 left. We got 25 rare metals in here. Do I want to wait till it's 30? I feel like that's okay. I feel like we can wait till it's 30. At least they're working now, right? The shift was saved. So maybe that'll be worth it. If we save the shift. And we get to start the morning shift too. So that might be worth it.
Cable fault reported.
Gonna turn off the generators after the cold snap. True, I can. So, I mean, I know that, but like, it's whether or not the generators are even worth it to begin with. There's so many machine parts invested in this, you know? I'm not sure they're really worth it to begin with. And see now this needs to be repaired. It's already been frozen. It needs to be. I'm getting rid of this. We're salvaging this. I'm not gonna put another heater there. We're gonna keep heater by the power. I'll keep heaters over here, but I'm not gonna turn that one on. It's too expensive. So I just wasted. I just wasted 5 machine parts doing that. I used 5 more machine parts than I.
Cable fault reported.
Yeah. Really? That's odd. One here and one here. Why? We're running really low on metals. I say we get this dome now. Next rocket will be people. And if that's the case, I think we just send them now. Because we're running out of stuff. And 3 water with 3 heaters to cover the whole dome, when you could be spending 40 power and 1 heater. With only 1 heater at full range. I don't think I can do that though, because the heater doesn't go far enough. Like this heater, if I extend its service area, it's just not big enough. Like in my situation, this heater cannot cover all of this and this and this. I'd have to put it maybe right here. It could maybe do it if I put it right there. But if I put it right there, then it's going to be next to the extractor and need maintenance more often anyway. There might be like a specific spot here where the heaters can go. Maybe next time, if this colony fails, right? Maybe next time what we'll do is I can structure my colony and build my stuff to accommodate a heater. Like think of a heater ahead of time and put it where it would go. You know, we're learning. But for now, we can actually reduce this to where it's just barely gonna cover this guy. And actually, I'm wasting a little bit here. I probably could have moved it over closer here. Then I would have been better. But it's I'm not gonna rebuild it. I can put it here again. Yeah, like right about here. 30 power draw. And then now that the cold wave is over, we can shut it down. So we don't even need it on anymore. So we should have a pretty sizable power surplus now, which we can use really well with the other dome. So, how's abouts we get that other dome started, shall we? First off, I don't think I'm gonna wait. We're gonna have to send people back immediately, so go ahead and take off. Take what you got. We're gonna send people next time. Most games don't really need smarts these days. What are you talking about? This game, like, makes me think. I like it. Build order and resource management like Banished, yep. And like a lot of games though too. You want mods that'll make the game harder? I don't know, this difficulty is pretty hard. I think so anyway. You have to think, because there's not a whole lot of buildable land even. Like an oval dome is probably pointless here actually. There might be a spot for it like back here. Maybe, but you'd have to cover up resources. Actually, what we should do also is add another, let's add a pipe valve here. So we can shut down the supply when we don't have the cold wave. That'll probably prevent it from leaking, this long pipe. Hopefully that prevents it from leaking because there's nothing going through it, so.
We have an oxygen shortage. We have a water shortage.
Yeah, it's the
dome.
We
have a power shortage.
So this dome is done now. What we need is, it's not done. It's getting there. We need this research done. I want apartments. Me wants apartments bad. And as proper of English as I can give you. Me wants apartments bad. Because I'm out of space. 1 more space and 3 more. I mean, people are kind of dying, but we're also having kids. At what stage do you plan to build schools? It's a very good question. Schools require electronics. Considering I only have 5 remaining, and I need my drone hubs to stay open, when I have a sustainable supply of electronics. I guess I would say that. Either that or machine parts. I do plan to manufacture machine parts first. So at that stage, I'll just be shipping electronics. The idea is, anyway, to be only shipping electronics. But machine parts are something that you need, like, you always need a lot of, and you can never manufacture enough of them. Because look at how many wind turbines I have. Like, you can never create enough of them. Now it says I have 48 metals, but all those metals are over here.
Search complete.
Let's do these ones. See what we got over there. Logi High Rise is done, which means we are sending people. Okay. I need people in my metal extractors. At least 1 metal extractor needs to be staffed for 2 shifts. I need metals very badly right now. We are completely out. Last time, this is attempt number 2, by the way. So we failed first time, and we failed the first time, and this is our second attempt. The thing that killed us last time was we ran out of water, but I couldn't sustainably keep water with me and keep water going. I couldn't sustainably do it because I didn't have enough metals to support it. So we need people on metal extractors badly. We have 30 candidates. We can bring 32 people, and I'm gonna have 2 apartments in that dome. There's gonna be 2 apartments, so we're gonna have a lot of people. If you're a geologist, you're coming. I don't like the gamers because they create a gaming need, but I'm gonna not be picky and take them. Geologist, nerd, perfect. Oh God, thank you. Oh, it's okay if you're a hypochondriac, you're coming. We need scientists in this dome too. We need to ramp up our science, so We get some scientists here. Workaholic, fine. Lindbergh, I think we'll bring you as well. Marcus Cook, you're coming too. We're gonna need medics because they have hypochondriacs, so we'll need to do that. I don't think officers are necessarily ready yet. I don't think we necessarily need those yet. Nobody's turning to a life of crime or anything like that yet. I think this other dome probably does need to be somewhat self-sufficient, so having a botanist on hand might be a good thing. Isn't hydroponic farms better than round farms? No, hydroponic farms are not better than normal farms. The only advantage there is over on a hydroponic farm, the only advantage a hydroponic farm has is the space that it occupies. It has less yield, requires more shifts of maintenance. It has a power draw. It draws power from your facility and requires ongoing maintenance with metals. So it's it's just really super inefficient. It costs you a ton of ongoing resources while like producing a lot less food. But it does take up less space. It takes up a 3-tile square. It takes up this much space as opposed to this much space. So if you have like a ton of metals and you have a ton of power, then sure, go for hydroponics because put a bunch of hydroponics. But this farm is producing a massive amount of food. Like 46 when it pops. Then it goes back to soybeans, replenishes its soil quality, then goes down to 90. Potatoes reduce soil quality by 10%. So it'll go down to 90. The soybeans will then kick it back up to 100 because this improves it by 10%. And then we hit the potatoes again. Potatoes give you the most harvest. The most harvestable stuff. The optimal harvest for potatoes is 45, but because our soil quality is 100%, we're gonna be making a lot more than 45. So our our food supply is really starting to accumulate because that one farm is taking care of everybody plus access. This one farm, I'm hoping, will be able to manage this entire colony when both of these structures are apartments. Good old potatoes, just like RimWorld. Yeah, man. Hey, Resorty, what's going on, man? Crop rotation, that's what we're working with, yeah. Riz, this is a game for you, man. I think you'd really enjoy this.
Cable fault reported.
The one complaint I have about it, though, there's 5 complaints I have about it, but one of the major complaints I have about it that might affect how you and I like to play things like this is colonist management is really lacking. It's kind of meant to be more of an oversight thing as opposed to like actually getting like knowing characters, because like you can name people, but once you name them, tracking them is pretty hard. It's not intuitive. And so you end up with like situations where you have people who are dying and you just don't know they're dead. Like they died, but you never got a notification about it. You get kids that are born, but you have no idea who their parents are. You can name them, but like you can't really develop a personality or a personal relationship with them. It's a little bit, I hope they add that. Lots of mod support though, so I'm kind of hoping somebody adds that in. Thing is, I have to make this rocket go, and the rocket has to come over here. Let's build this extractor. All right, malfunctioning cables. Yeah, these long cables. I can't do it. Some of these cables have to be long. I can't do anything about it. We have a water shortage. These tanks look good. Why do we have a water shortage? You should still be running. Yeah, you're still running. Why do we have a water shortage? We have tons of water, though. As long as there's drones. I should bring... Next rocket needs to bring machine parts. Always sending machine parts. Next rocket needs to bring machine parts as well as another drone hub. Unless I can build my own, which I can't. Drone hubs. No, I can't do that yet. Oh, no, this makes them better, but it doesn't let me build my own. It's probably gonna be one of these two. I don't think I can move the staff very quickly. What I need to do though, I need these buildings built, so I need them to prioritize this and just the one. They don't need to prioritize this one. This one can die down. And this one needs electronics. 8 of them. Ugh. Oh, I can't build the research center. I don't have enough. So there's gonna be scientists that can't do anything. I can't build that. I don't have enough electronics. Next shipment is machine parts and electronics. Look at that, we're already down to 15. Like, you just bust through machine parts so fast. And it ends up being this, it just ends up being your primary, the primary problem in your base. It always ends up being that. It's horrible. I hate it. I hate everything about machine parts. Do we not have enough concrete? No, it's over here. We have enough, don't we? Come on. We have enough to build this? I probably don't, actually.